Let's go ahead and talk about, first we'll go ahead and get into kind of what we ran into last season. And I'll start because you were definitely going to have the floor here in a second. I did, as far as I could tell, see that it was a quite a varied season. So it didn't seem there was a lot of one deck that continued over and over and over. Destroy seemed to come back a good bit.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that yesterday, as I was playing the Titan location, I didn't think everybody would have the same idea that I had. But man, I've never seen so many decks in my entire life that had Mobius in them. And also had Valentina, and also had Quinjet. And I was like, this is extremely maybe. But I hardly ever see Mobius during this. And of course, the location kind of, I guess, begged for Mobius to go into your deck. But man, it was strange. Yesterday was the one day that I ran into, okay, well, here's this deck again. Why am I facing this deck again? The other thing that I think
you're a trendsetter.
I must be. I must be. The other thing that happened this past season was the first time I got onto the source material YouTube and streamed some games, which was fun. I think I had one person that watched me, and that was Justin Thomas, a good friend of the show, Justin Thomas. And because he'd been saying he wouldn't want to play Marvel Snap. He still hasn't played any, but he's been wanting to. And I was, you can come over and watch me play. I probably put in, 2 days worth of 4 hours total. And it was a fun time. It was fun to sit there and gripe to nobody. Nobody was watching, but I'd sit there and complain about, here we go. Here's a destroy deck. I could tell he's going to love me playing armor. But yeah, I went back to my cannonball deck. I was having some pretty good success with that. I was getting close to 77, 78. Still didn't break out of the 70s, man. I think if I would have stuck with cannonball over the weekend, maybe, but I started switching up decks a little bit. But I'm really still into my cannonball Professor X combo. I'm really into that. So that's pretty much what I'm going to continue to play for a little bit until the locations change up. And then usually I'm changing my deck up for that day and then going back to it. So how about you? What happened to you last season?
Well, I was trying to remember. I went through a few different ones, but hit on the Annihilators with Quake early. And I did that. That's the one that took me through to Infinite for the second time.
Wow. Infinite. Man, oh man.
Now I forget where I started out, but I do pretty good going up through 70. Usually 80s where I stall out for whatever reason.
Okay.
And but I had good luck with that. I went back to messed around with my Surfer deck a little bit. I think I tried Zemo in there. I tried a few tweaks to that Surfer deck. I threw Rogue in there. Tried Bishop. I keep wanting to use Bishop more than I actually do. I want to use Bishop, but I don't want to use Mysterio and Hitmonkey. Not sure what the logic is there exactly. But then, what I was using first when I started out the season, as I'm telling this all out of order, what I used a lot was the deck that I had called the Exterminators, which was just taking away as many of your cards as possible. So Cable, Zemo, Gladiator, then I threw Black Bolt in there, Absorbing Man to duplicate it, Yondu, Spider-Man and Baron Mordo didn't take your card away, but it made it kind of useless.
Mm-hmm.
Stature, since Black Bolt was going to be discarding, and then forget who I had on there as the 6-cost card, but eventually whoever it was got bumped out by Red Hulk.
Okay.
I'm destroying a lot of cards. It might have been Giganta. I'm destroying a lot of cards, so I need some kind of heavy hitter. And then eventually I was just like, I'm using Red Hulk everywhere else. May as well throw him in here too. So that one got me moving for a while, and that's where I discovered the term mill.
Yeah.
Mill deck. And I guess you're more familiar with Magic the Gathering than I am, but I guess that's where it came. Just getting rid of cards. To me, it was just, if losing one card's annoying, then losing all your cards must be really annoying. And I'm not going to say if somebody doesn't like it, I'm not going to criticize them for that. But I was surprised by how offended people were by it.
Oh yeah,
terrible.
Oh, yeah.
And that's fine. I have come to realize that I am more bothered by High Evolutionary than most people. Whenever anybody says, this card needs fixed, I'm like, yeah, but what about High Evolutionary? And apparently that's an Evan problem. I don't know. I still find it ridiculous that it boosts all those other cards up and you don't sacrifice anything.
Right.
But
Right.
if I'm going to keep grumbling about that, then I got to understand people don't like the mill deck. I mean, I get it. You know, it's like, well, I can't do what I want to do, and it's annoying. I get that, but Cosmo does that. Zhongqi does that. I get frustrated when someone's playing a destroy deck, and I'm here
it comes.
Arnim Zola to
Yep.
beam Venom everywhere.
Mhm.
So it is what it is. You're trying to beat the other guy, and sometimes you can do that just by overwhelming them with points, and other times you just need to ruin everything they want to do.
I had a combination of a discard mill, which I really liked. I was using that for quite a while because that was, let's get your cards out of your hand. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to take your cards from your deck too. And Wong's going to let me do that twice.
Oh, so, yeah. Now, I don't think I may have tried Wong in there at some point. I think I went with absorbing man so that I could get rid of a card and then maybe follow up on it again.
I saw the Reddit post. It was the amount of no fun decks that are out.
I saw that one too.
Oh wow! So they're called no fun decks. All right, duly noted.
I have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, when I see Cable, this is going to be a no fun deck. This is what I'm getting into. I know it's not going to be fun. And then about turn 4, if I don't draw Legion, I retreat. Okay, he just took my Legion, or he's done something with it, and it's upsetting. So Baron Zemo absolutely folds into that because
he kicked it into high gear, I guess.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, the thing is, I get it if you don't like it. Like I said, there are strategies I don't like, and I just chalk it up to is what it is. I don't know why I don't use that Arnim Zola Venom combo more. I just don't like it. I feel like everybody's doing it. Yeah. So some other stuff I did after I got over the hump with the Annihilators to Infinite. I tried some high powered decks. I did go discard with Apocalypse and without Strong Guy. So, and it kind of may have shuffled most Strong off. Ooh. Haven't deleted it yet, but not being used as much. But I was going with a Hella deck, and then several times I was on the other side from and usually losing to an Iron Slot Hella deck.
Really?
So I tried that for a while. But if you can get Iron Man and Onslaught to respawn in the same place, that's pretty cool. But I eventually kind of phased Onslaught out of that. I think I just replaced him with Proxima Midnight.
Okay, all right.
So that when you delete her, but so I did go with a more traditional Hella deck, which I told you about the time I got beat. The guy only played 3 cards the whole game, and it was Invisible Woman, MODOK, and Hella. I've never just done that, but I've had every card get destroyed, but those 3, and I still won. So, but the cool thing is, one reason I didn't try that is because I'm like, well, that just seems too much of a cop out, and if you don't get those cards, you can lose pretty badly. But especially if you've got the Iron Man Tribunal combo in there, you can still pull it off even if everything doesn't go your way. I had Morbius in there for a while, and then I was like, well, then I need another discarder. I tried Hellcow, but eventually I just went where MODOK and then Dracula are my only discarders. And I got Red Hulk in there and Iron Man and Tribunals. So, and then if I get stuck, I didn't have a lot of low cost cards in there. I would look at other people's decks and be like, how come you don't have any more 1 or 2 cost cards? But my only 1 cost cards are Sunspot and Agent 13. So that way my deck has more high powered cards, but Agent 13 will hopefully give me something that I can play in the meantime. And then Psylocke to help get some of them out there if MODOK, Hella, and Invisible Woman are marching in the correct order.
Gotcha.
So I did that. I tried another deck, just aimed at trying to get huge. I think it was after I got smacked down by a Venom Zola combo, just trying to get high amounts of points out there without it being Venom and Zola. And I had some luck with Fury, then Red Hulk or Giganto, and then Taskmaster.
Oh, really?
So yeah, I messed around with that and tried some stuff there. Used magic to extend the turn. Used Ravana to make it easier to get Shuri and Taskmaster out, and Hope Summers. So I had some luck with that. And then when I was doing really well with the Hella Iron Slot deck, I got absolutely destroyed in Conquest by a guy who mixed Darkhawk or Rockhawk or whatever they call it
Mm.
with a Nihilus. I think we went 6 rounds. I may have won one, but he beat me pretty handily. And then the 3 that I won, where he lost 1 cube, he retreated after using Kang.
Oh.
He effectively used Kang. And so that's the deck I immediately tried to steal, but I didn't have White Widow, and I don't think he had Viper, and I threw Viper in there. But I did try Kang, and who was not expecting a resurgence by Kang?
Everybody?
Marvel Snap, because I think the last 3 times I've used Kang, it's crashed the game.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, shoot, they haven't really. Well, we know how buggy the game was earlier this month. It seems they've fixed that a little bit, but that might be something where.
But yeah, even tonight I tried it once and Kang crashed it again, which I thought was funny because obviously it didn't do that, and I'm sure there's more complex reasons than that. But I think they were just like, yeah, well, let's not worry about Kang. Let's put our memories and power elsewhere.
True.
I don't know. Kang's not necessary to make it work, obviously, but I was just like, dude, Kanged me 3 times, and it worked every time. And this was a deck that I never hit infinite on Conquest, but I was having some luck with this deck. I wasn't tearing my way up the ranks or anything, but I wasn't just plummeting either.
Right.
So this was pretty good, and he just absolutely shut me down. And so I immediately stole that deck design. And then within a day, I got beat by a Hella Iron Slot deck. Wait a minute. This just completely shut me down. So I had to confront the fact that maybe it's more skill than just the right combination of cards alone. I don't know. But yeah, I was just like, oh, I'm stealing that deck. And then I realized I hadn't watched very closely. I think I recreated most of it. And then, yeah, and then it got beat by the very deck that it beat to convince me to copy it in the first place. So
oh, wow. Well, that's crazy, man.
But yeah, it was kind of cool just to and not that you have to get to infinite. There's been plenty of, I've only ever made infinite twice, but it was kind of cool to get there and get there fairly early and then just mess around because I'm not going to get an impressive rank ever. So just mess around with some stuff, and not that it matters, but there was one season where I got into 90 and then I got knocked all the way back down to the 70s. And I'm like, well, the only people who would know that are my friends if I tell them, or people who listen to the podcast if I share that. And if really sucking for a long stretch at Marvel Snap is the worst thing that happens to me in any given period of time, then I'm having a pretty good week.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I don't even have to worry about how I do. Just try these decks out. And then a voice in the back of my head is going, you don't have to worry about how you do at all because it's just a game.
It's just right. Right.
It's like, really, please let frustrations with Marvel Snap be the most challenging thing.
Please. Did you notice anything weird once you hit infinite, like I was seeing there when I did that last season?
I had one game like you mentioned where the guy didn't play a single card.
That's so weird.
I should have marked down the username, but other than that, not really. I do think I saw some more repeat names than I usually do, but not like a huge amount. But I do think I saw some more names that I recognize, but I just didn't feel any manufactured, non-existent, ridiculous pressure to hit a milestone because I was like, I'm playing with house money now because
right.
You know,
right.
I'm not going to get into the top 100 no matter what I do. So let's just see how it goes. At one point, I got into the low 70,000s, and that ended pretty quick. I think I'm at 80,000 now, but I had a nice stretch there for a little while, kind of rotating between those high point ones and the Annihilators. I
remember running into, oh my goodness, the Maximus decks. I just kept seeing Maximus. And like, this card is never played. Why is this thing happening? And after I hit infinite, it just seemed like it was something I'd seen all the time.
That's weird.
And then,
I've seen Maximus a few times, but I don't know. Outside of a Ronin deck, I'm not sure why you would ever.
It was crazy.
Not why you would ever use Maximus, but I don't know. I don't feel like there's much upside beyond that.
Well, I was losing to him. I'll tell you that much.
I just haven't seen the right deck to try to steal.
Yeah, it was all focused on higher power. Clearly getting the higher power cards out there. It wasn't working on some kind of weird ability to screw me over. It was more along the lines of I'm getting all these high power cards out here and then somehow making sure they won the game. So I don't know. Well, let's get into unlocks here. I've got a short list, very short list. You do not. And of course, this is always the fun thing when you have the season pass. I love to look at the other stuff that you unlock. So, but as of yesterday, Cinco de Mayo, I was at 11,022 collector level. And I had 5 spotlight keys, which recently, as of I think it was this morning, I'm now at 6. So I've got 6 spotlight keys, and yeah, I'm going to get a dang exile. I'll tell you that much. At least one of them. One of them's coming home.
That's why you have that's why you have fewer unlocks than me. You're more judicious about spending your resources. Hey, there's a Dan Hipp variant I need, and I've got 705 gold. Let's go.
Yeah. All right. So starting off my unlocks, I got a Pixel Hawkeye, which is pretty cool.
Nice.
Talked about U.S. Agent. Definitely grabbed U.S. Agent. I got a Pixel Helicarrier, which is pretty nice. I've already pretty sure I split that and got a Prism background already on it. Red Guardian, talked about that already. Jim Lee Mystique.
Nice.
Had to happen.
That's the one that got me off of using the Mystique Ms. Marvel costume, which is inexplicable but cool looking the time.
Yeah. Then I got a Chibi Agent 13. You like the Chibis?
No, I don't. There was a guy on Twitter who was like, man, I was waiting for this special mystery variant, and it was just a Pixel Angel. And I'm like, I will trade you any of my Chibis.
You can have them all. Yeah. Then I got a Dan Hipp Medusa, a Baby Wolverine, which has been around for quite a while. I've seen plenty of people use that one.
Seen too many people use that one.
Jim Lee Rogue, which, again, I'm a sucker for Jim Lee. If I wanted to spend all the gold, I would, but I'm too frugal. So I love the fact that he's making Marvel Snap cards, or they're using his art at least for Marvel Snap. Shouldn't say that.
I'm going to say it's not quite that, but I don't want to run on your parade.
I don't know. What's he doing? Oh, yeah, that's right. He's head of DC. I was in my bad. So,
but Jesse, if you get 6 of them, you'll get 2,000 tokens.
Yay. 6 of them, 2,000 tokens.
Hey, I'm only one away.
All right. Well, what would you have your eye on if you did it?
Oh, the magic for sure. It just looks cool, and I don't have to wonder exactly how old she is with the almost crotch high boots and the hellscape one that's her standard appearance. I can just be like, oh yeah, that's just a cool looking pose.
Yep.
Don't have to feel weird at all.
The next one was Valentina. Talked about that already. So I unlocked and got 3 new cards this season. I'm excited. I was kind of tempted for Blob. I didn't go for him. I kind of thought about it. I was like, no, I'll hold off, because the other variant, the other thing would have been a variant of Null, and I'm just not. I'd rather not. Then my next and last 2 cards were 1602 variants. A 1602 Beast, which I think was my mystery variant that everybody got to unlock, and I think it's really cool. Have you seen it?
I think it's cool, but I think it's more like an 1802 Beast.
Okay.
I mean, that's I remember seeing it because he's in the lab. It's kind of a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde thing.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, you got it.
It looks really cool. It just looks too modern for 1602.
That's right. You may have mentioned that before. Then we have a 1602 Destroyer, which is definitely a destroyer. There's not really much that looks really different to me. I mean, other than the armor looks a little less shiny. That's about it. He's definitely
doesn't look that. What's the guy in Battle Chasers, the big robot guy?
Oh, I know who. I want to say Calcetto, but that is not right.
Libretto, no. Falsetto.
Falsetto, pedo.
Hang on. I'm googling. Or you can just go to the Source Material channel and check out our Unspoken Issues coverage of Battle Chasers #1.
That's right. Calcetto or whatever is what's the name of the doctor? There's his inventor too, and I cannot remember the name of the inventor. Calibretto?
Calibretto. There you go.
Calibretto. There we go. Yeah. Oh, he does not look. He is not as cool as Calibretto at all.
Rather be.
All right, what's your unlocks for the season?
So, well, I started off with Baron Zemo. I got a Pixel Abomination. Said, all you people that hate pixels out there, that's fine. Send them to me. I'll put them in a mill deck. I got a Pixel Deadpool, but I don't know. Deadpool just gets me less and less excited the more previews I see for Deadpool and Wolverine.
Aww.
There's other words in the English language, folks. they don't all rhyme with duck. Anyway, I got a baby Galactus, which is cool, but I said I have to somehow justify using Galactus by using the Lifebringer variant.
I'm trying to think if I've seen the baby Galactus.
I think that's the one where the Earth is a lollipop and the Ultimates members are floating around it.
Are the Ultimates members floating around it? I did not know that.
Yeah, let me see.
That's hilarious.
Also, yeah, I always love the variants that have other characters. I've got a bunch of black.
I'm a fan of that.
I got the Lifebringer one, and then I got as a random prize the Midnight Suns tarot card one. Can't remember if I bought the Dan Hipp one with gold or if I got it as an unlock. But yeah, he's licking an Earth-shaped cake pop, and yeah, the Ultimates are on there: Captain Marvel, America Chavez, Blue Marvel, Black Panther, and Spectrum.
Oh, that's great. That's good stuff.
So yeah, got that one. So then I used my tokens to get Red Hulk. I got a Midnight Suns Moon Knight variant.
Okay.
But I mean, again, find a bad Moon Knight variant. I'll wait.
Yeah, the Midnight Suns.
I don't think they have a chibi Moon Knight variant. That would be good, but as we've said, Moon Knight's a little too chaotic for me. I got the Drax variant. The artist's last name is Hepburn. I recognize it from the first issue of the Drax series that CM Punk co-wrote.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
I got the Baby Wolverine variant, which
I didn't even see. You got your little puke emoji there.
I don't want to think about Wolverine naked. We get it. He's hairy. And I know, it's a baby naked. It's supposed to be funny, but it still looks like Wolverine. And no. I don't like it.
That's funny.
I don't like it. The Victor Faro Taskmaster, which is that really rough painting variant style they were featuring. Some of them it really works for. Taskmaster, not so much.
Okay.
Baby Deadpool, got a Pixel Cosmo, a Dan Hipp Collector, Dan Hipp Sunspot. Always nice to have something other than that original Sunspot. That I love the card, but I have so many variants of that from trying to split it. See, then I got U.S. Agent, but I think I must have gotten him first, but I kept going because I wanted Jeff, and I did get Jeff eventually. But first I got Mirage.
Okay.
Which that is a cool variant for her Valkyrie variant.
Oh, nice.
Then I got the Victor Faro Abomination, which really does work. Got a Dan Hipp Kitty Pryde in her Excalibur Shadowcat costume with Lockheed. So that's
nice. Yes.
Got Jeff. I got that Ink Pulp Mr. Fantastic. I think you got last month.
Right. Yep. That's a cool looking Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah. Got a Pixel Colleen Wing. I think I used gold on this one, but a Dan Hipp Howard the Duck.
Oh, nice.
I'm inching ever closer to a full Dan Hipp Iron Slot deck. got Lady Deathstroke. I think she was the one I got when I tried for Red Guardian and didn't get another key.
Deathstrike.
Lady Deathstrike. Yeah, whatever. Deathstroke. I'm trying to figure out if I did that or if my phone did that. And then that leads me to contemplate what it says about me if my phone is auto-correcting Deathstrike to Deathstroke. I did once have my phone auto-suggest Ultraverse.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah. I was going to say, are you talking DC with anybody right now? Deathstroke in any way?
Not really, but I don't know what happened. And also, for some reason, I can't even change it right now. For some reason, it's
okay. All right.
Not letting me. So if they ever do Amalgam Round 2, that one seems pretty obvious. I haven't finished reading through the amalgams, but yeah, it's not letting me change it. So it's going to be Lady Deathstroke there.
Okay.
I got a Super Skrull Chibi, which, as Chibis go, is not that offensive. I got the Dan Hipp Elsa Bloodstone, which does not fit in any of the many Dan Hipp albums, but I missed it a long time ago, and that's my preferred Elsa Bloodstone.
All right.
Got the Season Pass Baron Zemo Pharaoh variant, and Zemo it works really well in that art style.
It does. I agree.
Got the Dan Hipp Galactus.
Okay.
I think I took a shot at White Widow and came away with Snow Guard, which briefly brought back my Collectosaur deck.
Oh boy. I saw a lot of Snow Guard over the season.
Yeah. I think a lot of people got her in the Spotlight key.
Oh, you're probably right.
Spotlight cache.
Yeah.
So yeah, I saw a lot of her too. They fixed her to where she's not the most frustrating card in the game, but outside of, she's also not a card that I can see putting in a lot of decks. Not because there's anything wrong with her, just because there's usually better options.
Right. And she's hanging around with Collector all the time.
And I know you were an early adopter with Snow Guard, so you lived through some of those dark days.
Those days, I will
Yeah.
tell you, I really wonder if they have any idea how bad she was.
You
And
young
how
whippersnapper, you don't know what it was like. I had to play Snow Guard uphill both ways in the snow.
Oh, shoot.
Let's see, I got a Dan Hipp Ultron,
Okay.
which just even it looks like it sounds like James Spader.
Nice. I absolutely 100% agree.
I got a Pixel Ghost Spider.
I don't think I've seen that one. I don't know. I don't think I have.
I spent the gold on a Jim Lee Cyclops.
Right. And I
want those tokens.
That is straight out of most of these are off of some type of comic.
Trading card.
Yes, that's right.
I swear some of those Jim Lee variants I have physical trading cards of.
The Cyclops one you do. I'm pretty sure.
And the Domino one, I feel. And Storm.
Right.
Yeah. Let's see. I got a Dan Hipp Black Panther. Pixel Star-Lord. I tell you, Snap may taunt me in other ways, but it keeps those Pixel and Dan Hipp variants coming.
I was going to say, I was just counting up your Dan Hipp variants. We're going to have to do a final count of Dan Hipp versus Pixel this go around. I think Dan Hipp's going to win, but we got to do a count before we're done with this.
Jesse, I've always been a Hipp guy.
Oh, he's hip to B square.
There you go. Master Mold Dan Hipp, who somehow looks like he's got like a pretty robust goatee.
I have that card. Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
I got 30.99 Bass just because I got enough medals in the shop on Conquest. My mystery variant I think I got was a Limbo variant of Rock Slide, which looks awesome. No, he's not doing the Limbo.
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah, that would. It looks cool. I don't know what. I don't recognize it from any comic or anything. And as much as I'm pretty meh on the sports variants, I love the Rock Slide sports variant because it looks like it's out of like an extracurricular activity at Xavier School for Gifted Youngsters. Like of all the sports variants, it looks like the one that would actually happen in a comic. Maybe referee Nick Fury. I could see him, doing some Shield intramurals or whatever. But that one is the one that looks like it actually came from a comic.
Okay.
Let's see, and then I got enough variants to get the Dan Hipp Cosmo.
Oh.
And I think that's because I used my gold on the Dan Hipp Living Tribunal.
Okay. All right. Gotcha.
The Dan Hipp Cosmo reward. So
nice. Very nice. You were talking about sports variants. I don't know if you had a chance to watch that developer update with Rian Johnson. And
I did not, but I just did a quick count of 12 Hipp variants to 6 pixels.
Oh, okay. Double the hips. Rian Johnson was showing off some of her art and stuff that she had done for Marvel Snap that hasn't been used in that developer update. And there is a vacation variant Venom.
Oh, my.
I just cannot fathom how many people would go for that variant if it gets unleashed at some point in Marvel Snap. He's laying on a reclining chair by a pool with a Hawaiian shirt on and glasses and a hat. It just looks you wouldn't expect it. Again, Rian is a she, which I had no idea. I've always been pronouncing her name as Rian Johnson, and she's always been a guy in my mind.
You were getting her confused with the writer and director of the beloved Star Wars film, The Last Jedi. I
do it all the time. Rian Johnson.
I said that with sarcasm, but that's my favorite of the new Star Wars trilogy. Deal with it.
I'm going to have to tell you, I'm not going to disagree with you. I went and saw that one in theaters.
Yeah.
So back in the Movie Pass days.
I mean, I know it's hard to believe that sometimes the male characters in Star Wars can make mistakes, but they do all the time.
all the time. All right, let's get in.
Okay. Sorry, I'm trolling for a different podcast audience here.
Wrong audience. Although Marvel related. Thanks a lot for joining us. Make sure to tune in tomorrow for the next installment of Snap Material.